Welcome to another episode of Real Life Survivor Stories. Today we have in the studio with us Lydie-Anne Ruest Belliveau. Did I say that right, Lydianne?
Yes.
Yes. So you and I have connected, in the past, and you moved to Moncton, right? And now you're back. I'm so glad you're back, and I want to thank you so much for coming in the studio with us today and sharing your real life survivor story.
Yeah.
Now you have quite a story. And I cannot wait for you to share this with the community.
Yeah.
So you're a real life survivor of something called dyspraxia,
Yeah.
right? Say that right? That's a learning disorder, and it affects coordination, right? And also you told me before the show that you have a hard time with eye contact,
Yeah.
right? And that's due to
Autism.
So for you watching, so Lydianne is also a real life survivor of autism, and during this interview you might see her stare off, to the left or right or look down. That is a side effect of autism, right?
That is like a symptom, yeah.
Right. So I basically am learning something new. I learn something new every day, and I love learning people.
Yeah.
So, So maybe you could elaborate a little bit on the dyspraxia.
Dyspraxia is a neurodevelopmental condition that can be diagnosed as early as in the childhood.
Right.
Usually start in the childhood. Like sometimes my symptoms were I had difficulty doing fine motor skills, like tying my shoes, or also other fine motor skills that required my hand, like writing.
Okay.
And getting dressed sometimes.
Making a meal
Was sometimes I had a hard time, but I found tools. Now there's some tools that I can use to help me make my meal, so I feel more independent.
Right. No, exactly. No, that's awesome. And you also, on top of that, and it looks like you're working very hard to kind of make that the norm kind of thing, which is really awesome. Because a lot of people that are diagnosed with symptoms like that, it's hard to know what to do, or usually they have help or a good support system.
Yeah.
And I think you do have a very good support system, as I've read, through what you're going through. Also, you have been on top of that, like I was saying, ADHD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's mostly due to inattention. Sometimes I might pay attention too intensely to something or get hyperfixation. Mm-hmm. But there's also comorbid diagnoses that are in common. There's similarities with autism.
Okay.
So that's why this year I decided to get my diagnosis for autism to confirm things, and it really did help me to understand part of my childhood I'm missed, because I kept masking and I had difficulty because I tried to understand how the world worked, and I tried to even trying to go to an event and try to talk to someone.
Right.
It's always bizarre because I often I don't know where to start, and I tend to talk about my special interests, such as neuroscience and psychology, and if they show nonverbal signals, I don't usually understand them, and sometimes they just leave, and I just okay, I don't know what that meant, but like other people also taking the time to listen to me.
It's so important.
And I appreciate them, and also it's easier for me to unmask because I can be myself, and like if like stimming happens, like I'm not scared, or like if I have like a lot of stimming but I have tools, I know how to use these tools, and now I know like the tools that are better for me.
Right. So you just focus on basically what works.
Yeah.
And if I understand it correctly, so if you're in a room with a bunch of people and you start a conversation, you basically go into a conversation, you kind of flip it to what you have knowledge on and interest in, and it might not be the topic that's going on in the moment. Is that why you find people kind of veer off and maybe don't understand?
Just, I don't talk about like they call it small talk.
Right.
I don't really understand these kind of talks.
Okay.
Like when like people ask me, "Oh, do you like my?" Sometimes some of my family member, I won't mention.
No, that's fine. You don't have to mention any names. They'll know who they are.
It's okay, but like,
no, it's okay.
They're asking me, "Well, did you find a boyfriend?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't understand the small talks, and I don't really, I like more deep conversation that are like driven in research and sciences." And
right. Because you are going into the medical field, as I understand.
Hopefully I just want to like try to ensure more inclusivity into these domains.
Right.
And like by advocating for it, and also asking
more kind of intellectual questions, and that goes into a conversation, like a deep conversation. You can have those with something that you have knowledge on. Like before the show, we were talking about a certain topic, and you kind of went right into detail with it, and had so much knowledge on it. It was you're a genius. Like that's she's like, I don't do small talk. I have to do, and that's where you're comfortable, and that's fine. And maybe when you go into those rooms and you're uncomfortable, you can maybe say, hey, I'm not really good with small talk. This is what I really am comfortable with, and maybe that would be a better kind of atmosphere where people wouldn't just, how you say, they kind of just leave and you don't understand. Maybe that would help.
It happened during like when I was in elementary school.
Right.
Like I didn't really like to talk to other children, like I couldn't connect with them.
Right.
But I talked to the teacher, and I was more connected to them, like, because the topics they were talking and the music they were listening, like.
Right.
And also I also volunteered in nursing home, and for me, like, the spending time with elderly like population, like it became
how did you like that
blessing. I like it. Was like, I know I needed like humans, according to psychology, need social activity.
Yes.
For what we call neurogenesis. It's called like the
you're going to teach me something new here, aren't you?
To like basically rewire your brain.
Okay.
So like I had to do that for psychotherapy, but I didn't want to do that with like inside of the school. Like when I was in high school, I prefer to do it like in separate, like in nursing homes, and I really enjoyed it because I could be myself and not and learn, like listening to stories that happened during if they were born during the war, or like sometimes I like to listen to the historical aspects of their life.
That's cool. I love that. I love that. And they have so many stories, and
Yeah.
it's so rewarding when you're in, a nursing home or a care home, and they have a story. They're there, and because of what they went through, or because of maybe their condition in the moment. And they always have, you can always sit down and say, hey, and they'll say,
Yeah.
oh, I could tell you a story. And they go back
Yeah.
from like probably when they were your age.
Yeah.
And you could sit there for hours. And it's just, and then you kind of collaborate and just kind of share, maybe on the same page. It's an awesome feeling.
Like, and help me understand like how like neurodegenerative disease function too.
Yeah.
And brought my interest into that, and it brought my view to know that like neurodiversity can be like so vast, so like, and people with neurodegenerative disease need to be treated with respect.
Absolutely.
And or other neurological conditions.
Yes.
Because it can be sometimes
it's challenging.
We don't know what's really happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they need a support system, and they need people that are around them that are respectful and caring and loving, and because it's a lot for one person to go through and understand themselves while they're going through it. So they're learning as well at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like you have kind of like so much knowledge on the medical field. Like I met you at the university. We hung out for a little bit and kind of shot some fun little videos and just had a great sit down conversation. And so you're going to university still here in New Brunswick or Fredericton here?
In New Brunswick.
In New Brunswick.
UNB, yeah.
Right, UNB. So what are you taking exactly?
I'm taking psychology right now.
Okay.
And also courses in science. And I have like desire to study in science too, as part of doing a double major.
Wow.
Too.
That's cool.
And I'm willing to take as much time as I need, because I know like some like there's culture that you need to push yourself to achieve what you want, but it's important to take time to reset and rewire your nervous system.
True.
And like by taking like step by step and like making sure I have a steady routine.
Yes.
And I like routines.
I do too. No, they work, don't they?
Yeah.
They do. They work. Well, that's, yeah, see, so you have it all kind of mapped out, and you have, you know, a routine basically of what, you know, your life is, you know, on a daily basis, which is, I find it's very inspiring and motivational. You're such a smart young lady, and you know, you're heading for high platforms, and you teach me things. I don't know, I mean, all these big words and stuff like that, like I'm just like, what? But it's interesting to hear you talk and speak, and you know, share with me your knowledge on what you know. It teaches me something. Yeah, so you were mentioning also, I just want to say, like, you have triggers.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I might have triggers.
And what causes those triggers? Like what sort of things?
It's mostly like sensory overload. If I get sensory overload, like intense lighting in a classroom.
Okay.
Sometimes it can happen. I might have a seizure.
Oh dear. Okay.
But like, there's a way to prevent the seizures by having like preparation and like advocating for yourself.
Okay.
And like, even if the seizures happen, you need to remain calm, because if you're not calm, it can like enhance the seizure.
Right.
And like, when others like are not calm around you, like, and or it's, but there's so many research that still need to be done about like seizures disorder and other neurological conditions that like kind of are still in the unknown for health practitioner or health in the health field, that sometimes it's just getting to know that information is like can like save a person's life.
Absolutely.
Because if a person think it's anxiety,
right,
but it's not, like when I was little or a young girl, I was let's say like for 15, 16, it was thought I had social anxiety, but like there were not a lot of women diagnosis of autism done on women at that time, and there's still like work that needs to be done in this aspect. And so women were misdiagnosed for different conditions before being diagnosed with autism. So like in my case, it's kind of, I received many comorbid diagnoses such as anxiety or social anxiety, but I was not really anxious, so I don't know why I received but it's more like a symptom, like the anxiety part, like that, trying to understand how the world works and how like social interaction like outside of school that aren't related to my interest works.
It's a little bit of a struggle, isn't it? Because you go into a setting or a room or an event or whatever you're, part of at that moment.
Yeah.
You're doing very good today. Just wanted to let you know that.
Oh, thanks.
You're doing fantastic.
I'm good in one-on-one conversation,
right?
But not when.
Right. But it is uncomfortable sometimes when even I get uncomfortable sometimes. You go into a room and you don't know how to read the room really, or maybe you don't know anybody there. And eventually a conversation will stir up, and maybe it's not now, on your platform, as you were saying, you're good with, in-depth conversations, something that with knowledge and understanding kind of thing, a short, like a short conversation, like small talk, that doesn't really kind of interest you. So you got to find that one person that likes to talk, I guess, and kind of likes to go in depth with whatever they're explaining, and that's where you're more comfortable, and that's where you have to stay. But like I say, maybe you could actually introduce yourself and then just say, hey, I'm no good with small talk, but I really enjoy,
usually what I
some
do.
in-depth. Well, that's good. And then it gives them a heads up, and then, and then a conversation stirs up. So that's one way to do it anyway. But you do a very good job, and you're so you know what you're talking about, meaning like you have knowledge on the topic. So you're just, I just think you're brilliant. So I could listen to you all day. You talk, and like I say, you've taught me a lot today just in this moment. So yeah, now you're a singer. You also sing. I've heard you sing, and you're amazing. Where was your last appearance? I watched your last video. I think it was on Facebook.
It was in the Red and Black review.
Okay.
At UNB Fredericton, and I sang there a song, and I also did a testimonial about neurodiversity inclusion.
Okay.
And because I like advocating for neurodiversity.
Right.
And
that's amazing.
There still need works to be done, and there's
a lot of research there, right?
For me, it's the sometimes when you're not diagnosed with getting the proper diagnosis, it can lead to public health problem, because then the health care staff trying to understand where it comes from, and then it's trying to understand the symptoms and
what people go through,
because there's so many comorbidity and many. Then if you forget one thing, it needs to be make sure that the evaluation tool are equalized and not just focused on they're also looking at different aspects of across genders, not just based on one gender.
I do want to ask you really quickly, when were you diagnosed? Do you remember
for
when?
autism? I got I'm still in the process of getting the papers.
Okay.
But I was diagnosed this year.
This year, okay.
Well, 2 months ago. 1 month ago.
Right. So for all those people watching out there that are listening to the show and that have, that have the same similarities as you, and, with the dyspraxia, which is a learning disorder, ADHD, autism, people that have triggers, what would you like to say to them for inspiration that, you can still live an awesome life and continue, your path? What would you like to say?
I would like to say that it's important to advocate for yourself and finding a good support, or if you don't have a good support, at least there's books that can act as a support system to learn emotional regulation strategies or awareness tools. And there's also books on unmasking autism in a safe way, we call it, without like, to make sure you're taking the time you need, because it's like almost as you're going to an identity crisis, that you're like trying to understand yourself another time.
So it's good to just connect with your doctor,
Yeah.
do the research through, you know, maybe reading, looking things up. You know, they say not to look too many things up because, you know, not everything is accurate on the internet, of course. But just, you know,
Like,
again, a good support system, and stay connected to your physician, and just follow what he says to do or she says to do, and just, So you've actually gave a good message today for those watching. And with that said, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. You've really filled us in all the knowledge of just some cool things and new things. And for people that are watching that are going through, you know, the journey of dyspraxia, ADHD, autism, triggers, depression, anxiety, the list goes on and on and on. Lydianne is a living proof that you can move on, and you can, you know, conquer all your fears and be successful in what you love to do, which is singing. And you're so good at that. And you're just an amazing young lady. So thank you for coming on the show today. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. And if you're someone watching that would like to share your real life survivor story with us, you can reach out to me on Facebook under Julie Comeau. And also, Real Life Survivor is my fan page. And remember, no matter how tough life gets, never give up. We'll see you back here next time with another Real Life Survivor story.